Well, do I? Well, greetings. Welcome to the Circle of Sister podcast, the place where sisters and soul sisters speaking out and fixing crowns in the process. Welcome to our what is today Monday podcast of Circle of Sister Table Talks.
We are going to jump in it, but in order to really double down, set in, and set our intentions for what we are creating here, a safe space, we would like to, hopefully, this allows us to play this particular music meditation because we want to just create a piece of calm. There's been so much going on throughout our lives, and we know that our orbit is a reflection of ourselves. And so we understand that there may be things going on in your lives. And so, just in order to find our safe space, in order to tap into our safe space on this beautiful, beautiful day, we are going to listen to a music meditation brought to us by one of our sacred sisters, India Irie. This song just permeates everything it is we are going to be talking about today. And so, uh, before we jump into the meat and the potatoes of our safe space podcast today, or I should say, the veggies and the living water.
Yes.
We are going to play this wonderful, wonderful song. So as you all join, tap into the melody, the music, the frequency, and even the words. Listen with intention and an open heart. Ashe?
Ashe. And we do not own any copyrights on this music, and we do not use this music as a copyright infringement on India Arie and her producing and her music and her lyrics, but it is very inspirational to our message. Give thanks.
Ashe. Ashe. You are where I go to hide when the wind starts to blow, when the lightning starts to strike, when the thunder starts to roll, when this life becomes a fight. You are where I put my gloves down when I'm running out of time. You are where I go to slow down. You are my favorite place. You are my sacred space. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. go to be moved, where I go to be still. Your love makes me new. In your presence I heal. You are my favorite place. You are my sacred space. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. No walls, no war, no calls, no weapons formed, no law, what fight you where I go to hide. You are where I go to heal. You are where I go to feel, to remember what is real. Ooh. You are my favorite place. You are my sacred space. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Woo! Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Sister India Ari. Thank you for allowing us to utilize your song in this space as we set the atmosphere and set the tone for tapping into this subject of what is your sacred space or feeling safe, right? There is so many people in this world who don't have a safe space. And this Sister Circle Table Talk is one of those places that we are creating to be a sacred space. But first and foremost, we have to be in a place of feeling safe in our own being, right? In our own bodies. So many of us see our bodies as not a safe space. You know, we have these emotions, we have these feelings, we have these ailments, we have these diseases. Our body is manifesting, and it doesn't feel safe, right? So, being able to feel safe in your body is a first space to be aware of, and meditation and sitting with yourself and envisioning feeling safe is a great way to clear the energies and the distractions, as we've talked about yesterday, of just being and knowing that you create your experiences. So being safe helps us to create more high vibrational, positive experiences in our life.
Yes, when we talk about safe space, let's break that down because we have two very important words. The first one starts off with safe, right? What does it mean to be safe? What does it mean to feel safe? What does it mean to feel secure? Many of us may come from backgrounds. I know, myself growing up in South Central Los Angeles. Um, I don't think I fully grasped the idea or understanding of safety. I grew up in various parts of South Central Los Angeles, and socially throughout my lifetime, the gangs have been a huge part, right, of the culture and community of South Central Los Angeles. And a lot of times outside of the home, there are areas that aren't safe, right? And
Mhm.
so the first area of safety I always thought was the home. It wasn't until coming into understanding of self that I understood the first safe space has to start within your own heart. Has to start within your own heart, your own body's temple. Um, and for me, that was the hard spot of shutting out the noise about what's going on outside my home, even within my home, but even outside of me. Tapping into how do I secure and find my own safe space within myself. And actually, India Irie's song "Sacred Place" was one of the meditations that I did constantly at the beginning of my journey into finding my safe space. I played that song on repeat until every word started to vibrate within my the frequency of my being, and I really started to embrace and feel that I was that safe space.
Yes, yes. And you mentioned in our homes, right? How often do we have um home environments that really are not safe as well? You did also mention outside of our homes. So a lot of people are coming into home environments that are not safe, you know, and having to function in a way that may not be the best way of functioning, because now we go into our survival mentalities, right? And survival mentalities can be positive, and they can also, or positive in a way that they help us to really find ourselves and find that safety and security within ourselves. And then in other ways they can be more detrimental, because it causes us to retreat in a way that it is not in alignment to who we are, and we begin to use that safe space to be and do and act in ways that are not according to our highest vibration. So being able to navigate that has been something that we had to learn tools and learn ways. And like you mentioned, meditating and just going into the I am, or going back into the nothingness of any of it, into our hearts, right? Into the heart space. And sometimes in our heart space, it's a lot of darkness, a lot of
Right.
darkness. And a lot of people um, have found that that darkness is not a happy place, or is a very scary place to be in the dark, right? To be in the dark. But the darkness sometimes allows us to shine light on those areas that don't make us safe, so that we can come out of the darkness with solutions. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Sometimes we have habits, we have people, places, things that we know aren't particularly great for us. They don't make us feel safe and secure. We don't feel safe and secure in the area. We don't feel safe and secure around the person. We don't feel safe and secure um, doing the thing, right? But we force ourselves because of outward perception of how we're supposed to be or how we are supposed to show up. And one of the things about making your being a safe space means honoring yourself in a way of holding yourself accountable to who you are, your thoughts, your feelings, and especially that one that we get in our gut that tells us that something isn't right, right?
Yes.
And in order to see yourself as a safe space, you have to be willing to hold up your end of the bargain with that, and to follow or tap into your intuition so that you can really operate out of that safe space or that safe frequency. A lot of times we do things out of fear, um, because we feel vulnerable, right? We do things out of fear because we feel vulnerable that someone has the upper hand above us, right? But if we
Mm-hmm.
know that we are divinely protected, if we know that we have the spirit of discernment, we have that gut intuition, then we can operate safe within our frequency because we understand that we are guiding our own destiny. And even if we happen to find ourselves in difficult situations or difficult areas or dealing with difficult people, um, we can trust that we'll be able to make our way out of it, out of the darkness, as you spoke of, just by relying on our own internal being. And I think that is one of the hard things to do because the media and everything outside of us kind of forces us to be fearful. You know,
Right.
forces us to be very afraid, and really finding solace within yourself. Is honestly where you start to see the ripple effect change and throughout other areas of your environment. Once you start to feel safe within your own right and understand that you're protecting yourself, that you're following your intuition and your gut, that literally starts to trickle over into the home. It starts to flood out into the external relationships, and before you know it, you look up and you have created a safe space, a safe environment. But it all starts with us. It all starts with our perception of our reality.
Yes, and with that, as you were speaking, I was thinking about the people who may not even have an idea of what safety is, right? And how do we create or begin to create safety? And I want to kind of dive into that in the means of, safety in the sense of you're free from harm, right? You're free from negative outcomes. You're in a place where you can be joyful, you can be happy, you can experience creative expression. You can speak from your heart space and not feel limited or defeated or unworthy, for instance,
Mhm.
of the experience of happiness, joy, bliss, prosperity, wealth, success, and being able to renew our minds and fix our crowns to align to those vibrations. And one of the ways that I've seen and I've constantly been working within myself is trusting myself and then allowing myself to set boundaries of what I allow to come into my space. And those boundaries include the feeling of safety, right? And doing the things that protect me first and foremost, protect me from the other feelings of opposite of what I want to feel. Sometimes let's dive into how that corresponds with communicating with other people, your safe space, all right? Or what you feel that you are 100% um, intentional about creating, and how other people come in and that may not be the alignment which they are on, and how their feelings may impose on your safety or your feelings of safety. How do we navigate that? And I know we learned a lot about tools. We've spoken about tools a lot about in this podcast. And these are tools that we've learned together in our journey as sacred women, doing that program with Queen Afua, but also how that is really being tested every day in our life, right?
Ashe.
How it's like, okay, you can have the tools like meditation by
Mm-hmm.
removing yourself from that unsafe mindset or that unsafe environment or that unsafe safe thought pattern, but you have to do the work, do the work of going into, okay, how did I not feel safe? First off, questioning what about that situation, thought made me feel unsafe.
Yes, I
And
want to.
then
Oh, I'm sorry.
go ahead. And then beginning to work with that or rewrite that in a way by creating new patterns or new ideas or new thought processes that support what you truly want to experience.
Absolutely, and this that was perfect. I'm glad I allowed you to finish up your thought because it segues into those steps, right? What are the steps? So, I am in a space or in a situation that has triggered me, right? We all know what a trigger is. You know, we say, "Oh, that triggers me," right? But when we are triggered, right, that's an opportunity for us to identify um the trauma that we need to address, right? So when we're triggered, a trigger is an indication that your body's reacting to something that's happening now that reminds it of something that happened before that didn't work out well for you. You didn't like it caused you some deal of stress or trauma, right? And so when you're triggered, it's like it's your body's way of telling you, okay, some just happened that's in alignment with some not in like. Now, a lot of times we don't really understand what the root cause of that trigger is. So the first thing you got to do is figure out what that root cause of that trigger is, okay? Once you figure out that root cause, then you can set a boundary. You can say, okay, this is a boundary that I need to set. And what I like to do is take it a step further and I like to reaffirm.
Yes.
I
And
like to reaffirm. Um, I don't know how to put it. How I do an affirmation after I set that boundary. I don't write my boundary anymore as a boundary. I write it as an affirmation that
good.
that literally transforms that boundary into an affirmation. It's what I'm affirming. Okay, look, I'm not gonna look at my boundary like that. I don't know if that makes sense, but
You can give an example, but if you want to give an example, you can, but I would build on that to say rewriting a new narrative
I
is
say
also a
I like
way to establish a new boundary. For instance, you and I want to go back to triggers as well. So triggers are things that we have had happen to us, or they're triggering because it's something that has happened to us before the age of 14. Thinking back on that, this is more of the life coaching tools that I've received doing my training with Dr. Faya through Transcendental Life Coaching Institute. If you want more on that, that is also a great tool and a great place to find how to work on self. And one of the things that we learned there is that every human being has suffered what they call ACEs. And ACEs are adverse childhood events. So they're adverse childhood events that create neurons or patterns in our minds that cause us to begin to show up in different ways. And those adverse childhood events are what allows us to be triggered. Okay. So even as adults, and this is why we are all kids showing up in this world, because we have been programmed from our adverse childhood events to function in a way that makes us safe, to function in a way that allows us to cope with experiences that trigger back to childhood. So that is where most of us are cultivating what being safe is, or how we should show up in different situations or um, circumstances that may have made us feel unsafe. And we began to act out, okay, when this happens, I have to act like this because I don't want to be hurt, or I don't want to feel sad, or I don't want to feel not included, or I don't want to feel isolated, or I don't want to feel like I'm causing problems for someone else. So we began to orchestrate a story behind that event. And it could be as simple as when you were a child, you used to always talk out, always speak how you felt, always have something to say about something. And then your parents tell you, stay in a child's place, or you don't need to be talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
But instinctively, you're the one who's talking about everything, and you want to say everything, and you want to speak everything. And your parents tell you, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. So for different people, that may have a different reaction. But I'm speaking from my personal experience where it became be seen and not heard. Okay? Be seen and not heard. So it made me feel like what I had to say now is not important. That is not a safe space because my parents told me, no, I'm not supposed to do that. Right. So now I go through life not feeling safe to speak how I feel because I want to stay safe. So I'm going to keep that in. And as we know, keeping feelings and emotions in begins to cause our bodies to break down. And it also challenges our sense of safety because now I want to speak out, but I can't. So now I show up in places where I should speak out, but I don't. And these are the ways that we begin to have to show up or see now, coming back into this space of as an adult learning that, okay, me being quiet in those moments has created a new story in me where now I can validate that teaching of my parents saying I need to be seen and not heard, where my little child, she's still like, I want to be seen, I want to be seen, I want to be heard. And I'm going to do, the opposite, right?
Mm-hmm.
In sometimes an unhealthy way, right? So learning to balance and bring it into where now I can see how not speaking out can keep me safe. But there are times when I must speak out to maintain my safety. So that's a kind of work through of how we kind of have to go back and forth with those aces and triggers and teachings, and then begin to see the new way to bring it all into a healthy place of safety, right?
Absolutely. And I do want to, I want to really, Spirit has told me to say this, and I don't know who on this call or on these, on who's going to watch this on the replay this may pertain to, but there is a time when Spirit is calling you to speak. And if you are in a unsafe environment, you can reach out to us through our platform, and we will help find resources and places where you can be safe. We do understand that there are many people who are not living in safe environments and safe places. Domestic violence has been on the rise since COVID, with anxiety being high and depression. And so, if you need resources for a safe space, please tap in with us. You could also contact your local fire department, police station, or really any mandated reporter if you are not in a safe space. Because one of the things that you have is power of the voice. And if you speak up, the resources are there to help you. And I can speak wholeheartedly when I say if you reach out on this channel, I will do everything to help find you the resources in your area to help provide a safe space for you. With that, and going along with that, as a parent, right? And the the one who runs the home because dad just pay the bills. As a
Look, give
parent,
thanks for that.
give thanks. That's create the safe space.
Yes.
When as a parent, y- I've realized that my understanding and coming into my spirituality has helped me with a lot of things you mentioned earlier when you were saying your parents telling you stay in a child's place and not saying this because it's inappropriate. I used to tell my daughter, she's 10 now, I would tell her, um that don't do this, don't do that, standard stuff that we tell that's disrespectful, don't say that, and certain things. And she was a really inquisitive little girl, would speak her mind, and I've noticed a complete shift in how she is now. I get praised by everyone for how great and how mannerable she is, especially because nowadays most girls her age are a little more sassy, or a little more a little more I don't want to say worldly, but worldly, and they're more hip, and they kind of talk back to their parents, or at least state their mind, because we're in that generation, right? And so what I've noticed um is the need for me to reinforce the safe space with her.
Mhm.
I have been working actively to let her know, I do understand you're getting older, I want you to be able to express yourself, and you know some of that stuff I'm gonna say it might have been not all the way right, in regards to staying in a child's place, as we say, staying in the child's place, which are some of the things that I've come to learn as I'm transitioning and putting a lot of this into practice. So I want to say to all of the mothers out there, to the women out there, you may have heard some things that you do, that you say, and you're like, oh wait, maybe I need to change that. Maybe I need to rethink the way I'm doing something in order to not only provide the safe space for myself, but those who are around me and who encounter me. Sometimes we got to check ourselves in order to maintain a safe space as well.
That's true. That's true. And understand that we have to parent the way that we know to parent, right? And understand also that ACEs happen for everybody, even the
Right.
most perfect, as we would think, parenting, right?
Hmm.
Because that's part of our evolution as human beings. We have to experience these adverse childhood events because that is what allows us to develop our ego, develop that space of separation,
Hmm.
develop that space to help cultivate the we will become, right? And it's not to get stuck in the aces. That's what it is. It's like the aces must happen. The
Right.
aces must happen, and they will happen because that is a part of evolution. That is a part of human development. We have to have a sense of separation. We have to cultivate our ego. What
Hmm.
is me and what is you, right? But beginning as adults and coming into the understanding of how you navigate your life experiences to cultivate a safe space within yourself is where we have to show up. And that's the work of the wholeness, the work of being complete, might I say, in who you are. And it's hard work because we all have our own quirks or unks. I don't know what the word
Right.
is.
Quirk, are
Those
you
words and those
unique characteristics?
unique characteristics, those ways that, no one is the same. So no
Ashay.
one's aces are going to be the same. But it's all about really finding safety within, right? Finding that safe space within so that you can hold space for others and without judgment, without expecting them to do it your way, because it's not my way is the only way, because my way worked for me, your
Ashay.
way will work for you. But being able to say that I'm okay in my space as long as you're okay in your space, but being able to identify when you don't have that safe space, right?
Gotcha.
And knowing that this doesn't feel good to me, it doesn't help me see myself as my highest self, in my highest frequency, in my highest vibration. And what is it that I need to do, which is what's in my capacity to do, that provides me that safety. So learning to work with yourself first and foremost, and not look for someone outside of you to make you feel okay. Okay. That's where safety first starts.
Absolutely. And when so if you're involved in a situation where you are feeling anxiety, your heart is beating fast, you feel like you are not safe, because sometimes we get those feelings of not being safe when we actually are. That's what anxiety comes from, and we get the rapid breathing. And so, for those times when you're not feeling safe, and you want to regulate your anxiety, taking deep, slow breaths,
Mhm.
rhythmic breaths, counting while you're breathing, will allow you to help to slow the heart rate down so that you can get back into your body. You can feel back relaxed. Um, I like to put on music. Music is one of my best forms of meditation because it gives me something else to focus on as opposed to silence or um, listening to nature is a really good one. Grounding your energy. Grounding your energy, literally take your shoes off and stand in the grass.
Yes, yes. Those the simple things. It's the simple things, right, that can get us back into an awareness
Mhm.
that um we are in control, right? Sometimes the anxiety and the body will begin to shake, or you feel out of control, right? So you gave great tools of quick methods to get you back in control. And we say these things as if they are just like, oh, anybody can do them. And it is, in fact, anybody can do them. But really believing that this works and trying to practice is the work, is
Mhm.
doing a 4 count breath, like Lady Ankh said, breathing in through your nose for 4 counts, and holding it for 4 counts, and then releasing it for another 4 counts. These are mindful techniques because now your mind's not worried about anything but the breath and the number. So just focusing on that and doing that until you feel a calm come over your body. In the midst of chaos and feeling a fear for your life, that may not work, right? So making sure you get yourself in your body to a safe space would be your first thing. You scream, you got fight, flight, freeze. Fight, flight, freeze, right? Those are our instinctive methods. We gonna
Mhm.
fight you. We gonna
Yeah.
just get stuck like the deer in the headlights, or freeze. What did I say? Fight, flight,
Fight,
run.
fight. She said
Hang
fight,
on.
fight.
Okay. And then begin the breath, right?
Mhm.
Because these are real simple tools, right? Real simple tools. And even like Lady Ankh said, sometimes we are in a safe space, but the emotion, the energy and motion brings back that triggering effect of putting you back in that trauma, in that situation where you felt that fight, flight, freeze. So now you can work with that energy to bring it back into control and
Absolutely.
to validate with the affirmative words, I am safe. I am
Absolutely.
safe.
Absolutely. And I just want to say, so we've been talking about some things to do when you don't feel safe, how you can start to feel safe more in your body, right? But a lot of us need to fortify our homes and our environment. So I want to talk a little bit about creating a safe space within your home or your environment. So, if you all saw me at the start of the call, you may have noticed that I had a little sage that I was burning. And one of my favorite protective tools to use was one of the first ones was sage. You do not understand the power of sage until you start regularly using it. And then it becomes funny almost in a sense because you notice when the people walk in your home or your space and they say, "Ooh, it smell like sage," and they bothered by the scent. You kind
Or
of pick
what's
up
that smell? What's
uh,
that smell?
yeah. When you hear that and you kind of pick up on that energy. Um it really does tell you what's going on with the energy of those who are in your home. It really, you do see the difference when you are, cleansing your space of those negative energies, especially if you have a high traffic home where a lot of people are in and out. Or you have a big family, it just helps to not only cleanse the energy of the space, but those who encounter the space. And so this is one of the tools that are the things that Mother Earth has granted us in order for us to be able to burn and what is called smudge, utilize the element of air um, as well as the element of fire to create an aroma that really I love the scent of it, but it just clears out any type of negative energy from your space. You also have, oh, go ahead, sis.
Oh, and I was going to chime in on that. And even thinking back as children, when we were young, our parents may not have smudged with sage, but when we got to cleaning our house, all the windows came up. You open your windows,
Oh,
right?
thank
You
you. But
open
that's
your
fun.
windows and let the air flow through your home. That's a simple way to creating a safe space. We come in from work, we come in from jobs, our children come in from whatever they're picking up. And if our windows are closed and that energy is just, in there, it can cultivate some really tumultuous energy. So just as simple of lifting our windows, in the winter, even in the summer, in the spring, and just allowing fresh air, like she said, utilizing nature to help us create the space of safety, because nature in and of itself is a very safe space. It's a very safe space. Everything functions in the means of how it needs to function, but it's safe. We can say, oh, there's bugs, there's snakes, there's this, there's that, but it all functions in its system. So when we bring in the outside into our home energetically without a way for it to get back out to cleanse and circulate, that can cause us to have a lot of discord and a lot of angriness and feelings that are trapped in our sacred space. So opening your windows along with that.
I love that. And I'm glad that you mentioned that because that's something that's not going to take you going out and buying anything else or going to anything anywhere special. Literally opening your windows, opening your doors and blinds, allowing the sunlight to cleanse. The sun is a really great for not only cleansing the space, but our energy as melanated, carbonated beings. We need sunlight. We need sunlight. We need to sit in the sun for a period of time to allow our cells to regenerate. That melanin that be popping, that is not only a thing for beauty, that is a scientific fact. That melanin, allowing it to get the proper amount of vitamin D is important, and you ain't got to take a supplement for that. You
Yes.
can, you can,
Nature is
but
its own medicine too.
nature is its own medicine, and more vitamin D does increase your happiness. It does
Yes.
decrease your anxiety levels. And so the things that we're talking about are simple, very practical things that you can do to not only create a safe space within your body temple, but within your environment and your surroundings.
Can we tap into another easy to do safe space um, observance, taking baths, taking baths.
Shay.
That is a very beautiful sacred space.
Yes.
To allow the water, working with the elements again, to cleanse. I know we're all in this quick, fast, get in, get out, take a shower, gone about our business. We're thinking cleaning the dirt off our bodies. But really, when we can sit in a tub of water and just sit with the emotions of our day and allow it to release into the water and say, you know what, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. Or I release all the things that made me feel unsafe today and sit in the water with that thought, put some water over your head. I personally will run my tub and then let the shower boop, boop, boop on me. And then I sit in my tub at the end after I wash up and whatever, and I sit in the tub and drain the water. So I allow, and you can literally feel the pool of all that going down the drain, visualizing I'm safe. And I can do this with my body temple to cleanse it of those things that made me feel unsafe throughout the day. So that's one other thing that you could do to create a safe space for yourself. If you want to doll it up and put some candles around there and make it feel real romantic to yourself, that's a beautiful way to set a safe space for yourself. Quick tools.
Absolutely. I am so glad you said that. But by the way, I thought I was the only one that sat there, let the water drain out, turned the shower on.
And then I get up and do the real
And
shower,
then
shower,
get up and
shower.
do
Right.
let me do the bathing part now.
Right. Yes. Yes.
I thought I was the only one. We here, sis. We here.
Yes. Yes.
But yes, and even if, because I do know that some of these new homes, they are not putting tubs in. I'm so shocked when I was house hunting. They are not putting tubs in these new homes. So even if you have a shower, just being intentional about that process and really saying, like, as I'm washing this off, I'm not just washing out, scrubbing away dirt and grime. I'm cleansing my auric field. I'm removing anything that has tried to attach itself to my energetic field, anything that has tried to attach itself to my energy, any energy vampires, any negative energy that I've been holding in my heart space, really being more intentional in regards to what you are actually cleaning. Like I'm cleaning my mind whenever I do. One of the things that what I do, and I really suggest for women who suffer from any type of overwhelm, like mental overwhelm. One of the things in African spirituality that if you study Ifa or you ever do Odu readings, they often, I've always been told that, oh, you have to do an Ori cleanse. I'm like, okay. What I've come to understand is that for women of color, when we wash our hair, that is a time for us to really be thinking of clearing our minds as well. Our hair is an energetic frequency all on its own. We know that, right? Our hair got a whole culture on its own. And so when we are allowing that water to run on our scalp, that is really a time for us to clear our heads. Anything we've been stressing over, anything that is clogging our mental space, safe space, we need to release that and let that go. And allow that the next time you go to the beauty shop and get your hair done, see it as a spiritual cleanse as well. See that as a spiritual cleanse. Every time I go to get my hair done, everyone knows my locks retwist. They know. Don't call me. I'm not talking nothing. And the girl who does my hair, I absolutely love her because she has the energy where she is so pure. She doesn't talk over your head. Like spiritually, I think she really understands that the on the phone talking over your head and all of that is locking that into your locks. And so she's like good music on. She creates the vibe. And so the little things we do to
Yes.
take care of ourselves, the everyday things we do to take care of ourselves, helps to create and cultivate our safe space as well. And the next time you're getting your hair done, sis, the next time you are taking a bath, the next time you are cleaning your house and you decide to pop those shades up or open your windows, know that you're doing that with the intention of not only creating a safe space and environment for you, but for all those who come into encounter with you and to commune with you in your home.
Give thanks, give thanks. And that is the way we change our own experiences and also begin to cultivate change for others, right? Because it's like we can see others people do it and talk about it and say how it works, but until we do it for ourselves and really begin to see with it or do things with intention first and foremost and see the effects of it on our lives, we we may not understand it. But even to know that even doing these things, you're going to be challenged. Your safety is going to be challenged each and every day. So being able to come back to yourself, right? Come back to your safe space and know that everything is okay. No matter how I feel in this moment, it can change with a decision. It can change with a choice. And your choice and your decisions should support your highest
Good. Your highest good.
expression of good.
Ashe.
So that's where we are with creating safe space and looking for safe space. We basically just hit the surface of what this is to do the work of creating and cultivating. A lot of people out there may already feel very safe in their space, and we definitely know that it can be wonderful to stay in that space of safety, right? Because then you can open up to your expression and your creativity, and your other areas of influence will begin to bring forth a harvest into your life that looks just like that safe space. So that's the goal when we're creating safe spaces, is to see that manifest in other areas, in other experiences, and open us up to new experiences as well that may challenge our safe space, but we bring that into that experience.
Ashe, Ashe. Well, I just want to say I thank you all for tapping in with us today. It has been great having these daily table talks with each and every one of you that have been joining us on the live. Again, I am Lady Unk, the spiritual priestess, and I have my sacred sister, Chantel Cierta, self care coach, holistic practitioner. All things. Look, travel agent, we are here to serve and to serve you all and to create a safe space. Those safe spaces don't, oh, go ahead, sis.
Go ahead, finish.
Those safe spaces don't just extend to this virtual platform. We actually host safe space retreats. So if you want to curate your own safe space retreat with your family and friends, we definitely have options for you to do that as well. So tap in with us. We also have you want to tell them about the cohort that's coming up, sis?
Oh, sure, sure. I'll stem on the travel. So travel is another place that you can cultivate safety for yourself, right? We know there's risk in travel, but also affirming yourself to get away, to get into a new environment, to see something different, to expose your mind's eye to different cultures and different ways of life will activate things within you that you can say, hey, I saw this being done over there that I'd like to bring back to do here in my space. So it's like being able to venture out and feel safe enough to venture out, right? To see different things. It all works together. So yes, we do we do we look, that's how you release some of that stuff you don't need no more, okay?
Right, that's a purge.
The purge. The purge is necessary. The purge is necessary because we carry so much that we don't need and that tries to keep us in that fear-based mentality. So being able to come out of that space and come into a new space is what this circle is all about. We are offering, we both are practitioners of practical spirituality and holistic health. And that's the tools that we want to offer to you. And in our Embracing the Queen Within activation cohort, starting October 22nd, please tap in. Reach us on our social media platforms if you're interested in learning more. We do dive deep into principles of sacred living, right? Things that you can do and really help you work through on a smaller scale, more personal. We offer sacred spiritual consultations or personal consultations to address the issues that your body manifests that shows that something may be out of alignment, right? We may be going through our daily lives thinking all is well, but we see these illnesses. We see these places where we don't feel so safe in showing up in our life repeatedly, and we don't know how to navigate that. We create a consultation that will address your own personal issues or concerns or challenges and begin to walk you through this 12-week journey with other women who have maybe completely different issues, but the tools being applied to those issues, challenges, or diseases can begin to improve for you over this journey. So again, we're having that space to come into the circle more intimately and to be able to work through your own personal issues, challenges, or diseases. So we invite you to come and join us. We offer payment options, payment plans. And then following that activation retreat in March, we will have a Circle of Sisters getaway activation retreat, which is open to whoever may feel called to join us to really activate this new awareness. It will be the graduation for the cohort coming through starting in October, but it will also be like an introductory for those who may not have made the decision to do the activation. Do the Embracing the Queen Within intensive, but may want to learn more after they hear and see and get a taste of it through this 3-day retreat where we commune together in sharing this information. So we ask that you join us. And anything you want to add to that?
No, just that we are traveling practitioners and we love hosting groups. So if you would like to curate a group for your sister circle, if you'd like to curate a trip or get us out there for services, we are definitely open and available. So DM us on any of the platforms, comment on any of the platforms that you're interested to know more about personal retreats, and we'll give you details about that as well. I do want to close out with a little movie presentation, just showing you some pictures of one of our first retreats ever, and take a look at what we did. Okay. Oh. Let's start playing the music before the video comes on. Workshops, activities,
health and wellness, Sambo meditation, yoga. Open circle. Diving deep and feeling refreshed.
Plant
medicine. Fire pit. Yes. Nature at its finest.
I love that picture.
There's no age restriction. No age restriction. We give thanks. We welcome you all to join us in the circle. We welcome you all to join us in our cohort coming up in October. Please tap in now, October 22nd. We will be going live with our Embracing the Queen Within activation. But please tap in. And until next time, we are soul sisters speaking out and fixing crowns in the process. Peace and love.
Peace.